Hey there, CJ Math students, and welcome to Homework 3.6. So this is a practice because yesterday was a preview, so we're actually going to try and look at some problems that you may see on a test, either one that I give or one that you see maybe in March, and see if we can apply our skills. So number one, it took Jenna 3.4 hours to travel 124 miles. At that rate, how long will it take her to travel 310 miles? So you can use a calculator, but you must show work. So what are we comparing? We're comparing hours and miles, right? And the first ratio we have is 3.4 over 124 equal to, now let's see, they give us 310 miles, so that means it goes on the bottom, 310 on the bottom, X right there. So if we multiply straight across, we get 124x equal to 1054. And then we're going to want to divide by 124. Always divide by the number attached to the variable. So those cancel out. So x is equal to 8.5. So it will take her 8.5 hours to travel 310 miles. And that makes sense, right? It should take her longer, right, to travel further. So it would make no sense for A to be your answer because that's shorter, right? And if you just doubled that, then that would be, something like doubling this, that would be like 6 hours or more. So that makes no sense. And then D is just a little bit too long. Number 2 should look very familiar. So I'm going to let you work on that one. Number 3, it says, examine the following rectangle. What is the ratio of the shorter side compared to the longer side? So some of these problems, again, should be familiar. So again, we want shorter to longer. So on every problem, you should be writing down what you're comparing, just like I am. And that will help you write the ratios correctly. So I have 0.5 over 2.5. We actually want to divide by 0.5 on this. Not 5, but 0.5. And we'll get 1 over 5. And that makes sense, right? How many 50 cents are in $2.50? There's 5 of them. Right. Number 5, the ratio of boys to girls in Miss Young's class is 4 to 5. So we have boys to girls 4 to 5. If there are 27 students in Miss Young's class, how many must be girls? So really, what we have to do is take this girls to boys ratio and have to make it a girls to total ratio. So girls to total is really, all right, it's 5 girls for every how many students? 4 plus 5 is 9. And then if we have a total of 27 students in the class, that's what total 27, that's on the bottom, how many are girls? So when we do this multiplication, we'll have 9x equals 5. And then we'll divide by 9. Those cancel out. 135 divided by 9, you get your answer of x equals 15. So D is your answer there. All right. Let's look at 6 real quick. So it's for a scale model of a plane, Leslie built a 1/2 inch of the model to represent 4 feet. So you're comparing inches and feet. That's important to know. So you got 0.5 inches for 4 feet. If the wingspan of the actual plane is 40 feet, how many inches wide is it? So equals 40 feet, right, over x. So you guys need to solve that. All right, on the back, it should be very simple. Basically, you're just cross-multiplying, right, and solving for the missing variable. So this one we have 18n equals 36. We'll divide both sides by 18. Those cancel off. So we got n is equal to 36 divided by 18 is 2. B. For number 3, again, cross multiplying here. And we'll have 40n equal to 240. Divide by 40. And n in this case is equal to 6, right? And it makes sense, right? If you plug this back in, 18 times 2 is 36. 40 times 6 is 240, right? And if you plug it even back into here, 6 over 15 is the same thing as 16 over 40. If you divide both these by 8, you get 2/5. If you divide both these by 3, you get 2/5. Right? So your answer should always make sense if you plug it back in. Number 5, what is the ratio of the triangle's height compared to its base? So here it's height. Again, I want to write down what you're comparing. Height to base. So the height is 15 over 3. And then obviously we want to simplify this. So divide by 3, divide by 3. So we get a 5-to-1 ratio. Make sure you select C and not A. 1 to 5 would be base to height. We want height to base. So A is definitely the wrong answer. Look at number 7. Kaylee has 2 apples for every 3 oranges. If Kaylee has 15 oranges in a basket, how many apples must she have? So what are we comparing? We're comparing apples. Apples and oranges. I could do oranges over apples. It wouldn't make a difference. But I'm just trying to do it as we read it. So 2 over 3 is equal to, and then she has 15 what? 15 oranges. So oranges I put on the bottom, so 15 on the bottom. It would help if Mr. Mason knew how to spell, huh? It's oranges. Right, and X on top. So when we multiply straight across, we get 3x is equal to 30, right? 2 times 15 is 30. So go ahead and divide by 3. Those cancel off. 30 divided by 3 is your answer. X equals 10. So 10 right there. Right? Let's go down to number 9. It took 4.5 hours for Eric to travel 315 miles. At that rate, how many hours would it take him to do 630 miles? So we're doing hours and miles again. So we have 4.5 over 315 is equal to, they give 630 miles, so miles goes on bottom, and X right there. So we're going to get 315x equals, and then we're going to do 4.5 times 630. 2,835. So divide by 315. And those cancel off. So your answer should be X equals 9 hours. And again, it makes sense, right? Because 315 times 2 is 630, right? And 4.5 times 2 is 9. So it makes sense that we will go 630 miles in 9 hours at that constant rate. Okay, you've got the evens left. Make sure you show work just like I have. What you're comparing, write the ratios, show the cross multiplication, all that work. I will not accept it otherwise. And if you have questions, please pick up the phone and call me.